I'm Ben
Hello.
Flynn, and I'm really lucky to be joined today by Ashley Pittard from the Barwon Southwest Waste and Recovery Group. Welcome, Ashley.
Good to be here, Ben. Thank you very much.
Now, I'm going to be introducing you to our members as part of the Member in the Spotlight series. So, tell us a little bit about Barwon Southwest Waste and Resource Recovery Group.
No dramas, Ben. Thank you very much. So, the Barwon Southwest Waste and Resource Recovery Group, firstly, is one of those entities with a long government name, but I suppose the important thing is we're here to help. We're a statutory authority set up to the Minister for the Environment, and we work with councils, communities, and business and industry from the Borough of Queenscliff and Geelong all the way through to the South Australian border. So that heads down Portland, Hamilton, Warrnambool way. And we're really keen to help government, business, and the community find ways to sort of reduce and recycle and be better corporate citizens. And sometimes that really helps with making your business more viable and more environmentally sustainable. So we've been around since 2014, where we were an amalgamation of a Barwon and a Southwest group. And we have around half a dozen staff available to help, as I said, both councils and business to recycle more, reduce their waste, and get on and be a better contributor to society.
Yep. Now, recently, people may not have heard it, but back in maybe February, March, there was some funding for the circular economy and reducing waste.
That's correct, Ben. So the Victorian State Government announced Recycling Victoria, a new economy, which is a circular economy policy. It has a lot of the circular economy principles and ethos behind it, but I suppose primarily it is about changing the way we manage our waste, and the intention is to divert waste from landfill and recover more resources. So there was $300 million as part of that policy package, and a lot of that work is starting to sort of get runs on the board now. Some of the key aspects coming through that will be for every household in Victoria, if they haven't already got that, but we'll end up with a 4-bin or 4-service system. So people will be able to recycle glass and have a food and garden organics collection system. There's between 7 and 10 years to implement that, but many of our regions, so our councils across our region are already on the way, through to the City of Greater Geelong, who just a couple of months ago committed to a food organics trial within the next 12 months. Other things a part of that is I think there's nearly $10 million towards a business innovation centre. So again, it'll be I suppose a repository of information where businesses can turn to help get that better information on environmental sustainability, as well as I know there's some business support grants. The exact details of those are yet to come out, as well as other grants to support Victorian councils and support Victorian communities. So,
yep.
And the other one, because everyone likes a drink every now and then out of a beverage container, but a container deposit scheme is due to come in by 2023. So the old 10 cents return for those items will come in. And again, that'll just change a bit of a dynamic how things go through the system, and that material remains circular.
So it did feel over the last 12 months that everyone was really engaged, and there was some really big advances taken in terms of waste reduction. We didn't have all the answers, but everyone was on board. Is it fair to say that that's, despite COVID, that's still the case, or has it had a slowdown?
Oh no, certainly COVID has made people think locally. And that's important about jobs, about where our materials come from, and that we're not relying on, again, overseas imports all the time. So again, we're talking about face masks at the moment. So again, people are getting out there making their own. They're reusing the bits of textiles and materials they've got in their cupboard. And again, that's a good circular aspect, is to, rather than that get thrown in the bin, we reuse those materials, and we're not relying on and importing from far and wide. We did see in the first lockdown, because people were that commentary was you might be at home for 4 months, 6 months. Naturally, a lot of people said, I've got time to clean out my shed, and I've got time to clean out the cupboards, and what am I going to do for 6 months? And I'll get out a jigsaw puzzle, and I don't need this and that. There was across a lot of Victorian councils, between a 10 and 40% increase in waste generated. We did see a lot of people heading to a transfer station to throw things out because they had time to clean. But again, that forced some of our transfer stations in our rural areas to, because of COVID, go cashless. So again, they had to be sort of responsive to, again, the norms that we're now facing in the COVID situation. But deep down, I reckon each individual is still wanting to embrace what is good for the environment, what is good for the long-term future, and whether it's trying to prevent disease or prevent waste and harm to the environment, people want to be on the front foot to recycle correctly, to make sure things are helping both them now and future generations to come.
Now, I know we've been pretty active on the Chamber trying to share as much as we can to help you along, but how can our members find out more around Barwon Southwest Waste and Recovery Group, and how can they reduce their waste?
Certainly, the best point to sort of find out information is to go to our website, naturally, which is www.reduce-recycle.com.au. And I suppose on there, there's a section we have specifically for business. So just flow down that tab, and again, we can offer you a range of support, strategies, advice, and resources. We have a tool called Rethink Your Footprint. So any business can just jump on there. I think it takes between 4 and 7 minutes. It's just getting a bit of a feel and a flavour as to what companies are or aren't doing in regards to their waste management and recycling. And that gives us an opportunity to know where your business sits now, and we can come back to talk to you and again, help take you through the next steps of continuous improvement. And again, that's where we want businesses, again, to do what's good for the environment, do what's really good for their staff in building capacity. For some, it's about what's important for their customers, as well as sometimes it's getting that competitive edge, because again, we know a lot of consumers are very interested in if they know the businesses are switched on and environmentally sustainable, they will make that choice towards that business. So yeah, there's some information there on labels and packaging. We have a number of case studies that are taking place across our region, and again, we can direct people to other things like we know Sustainability Victoria have just within the last week or so announced a buy recycled directory. So any entity that has recycled product for sale, they can register on there, and again, it becomes a one-stop shop for people to know where to get those, whether it's recycled plastic in pipes or whatever. So a number of opportunities.
Well, it sounds like this conversation, thankfully, is continuing in earnest. I know certainly the Chamber and all of our members are really supportive, and you know, we're all trying to do our best. There's a lot of work to be done, but hopefully we can look through this COVID experience and still continue to work hard to protect our planet for future generations. So thank you for all of you and your team's hard work, Ashley Pittard from Barwon Southwest Waste and Resource Recovery Group, and thank you for your support of the Chamber.
That's fine. Always great to be supportive. Take care.